Alright, chat. How are we doing today? Good? I hope we're doing good, chat. I'm doing good. I'm doing some house chores. And that's nice. Yeah, nice to have it clean. Done the laundry for the most part. Does some vacuuming and yeah, that's. But is it though? Hang on, it is very, very close. It's just that the placement was completely bonkers. You know what, chat? I will take that. I will take that and as an absolute win. And just do like that. Boom. Excuse me. Yesterday's board game night was a success. We played a childhood classic of mine, Hero's Quest. And we had a blast. I'm most likely condemned to be the eternal GM of that game, but GMing that game isn't really particularly hard. It's not Pathfinder or anything. And Kick is coming in strong with their usual. But why do I keep messing this thing up? It's because it's not too long, it's too short. That's why I keep messing it up. Now the interesting thing is, like, how are we going to get the paper in this cup to look? That is going to be interesting, chat. But we'll put a pin in that for now, and try to get these smaller pieces of paper in place. Okay. Angles and all of that jazz. Let's go. And also, I saw a video from, well, he's not exactly been a art student of mine or art teacher of mine but I picked up a few tips and tricks from him. Draw like a sir. You know, he's on tough financial times. Which always sucks. But, you know, who isn't these days? Yeah, good stuff. You can't hear. I'm doing the laundry. Final stretch, the bedding. So I can hear it, but the washing machine going for the final stretching. But it doesn't seem like it has any impact on the mic, so you can't hear it. Which is good. Which is good. Oh. brackets. Yeah, it just needs to be way closer to it. And then we're going to sculpt it. That might be a bit too dramatic. But it's pretty much right on the money, to be honest. If we just do that. Ah, yeah, baby. And we just cut off that corner. Shink. Pretty much. That's pretty accurate, chat. That one's also pretty accurate. That one's pretty accurate. And then we have yeah. Okay. Just excuse me. Looking forward to get that air filter thing. Interestingly noted that the bot sellers didn't show up in yesterday's chat. I don't know, maybe they have Saturdays off. Now the big question is those shredded pieces of paper. Like I see shadows in there and so on and so forth. But you could also, again, it could also be simplified as just, you know, a white circle. But I kind of want to try and get. The question is how. It's going to be tricky, and I'm kind of happy with how it looks so far. So then the question is, how do we go about this chat? I think we're going to have to do the good old control paint trick of temp layers. Which is basically I make a new layer here and then I work on that without being fearful of destroying the underlying layer. And when I'm happy with what this with the content of the temp layer, then guess what? I am just going to collapse it down and then we're just gonna repeat the process. And the advantage of that is that we can do stuff like this. Okay. Cut it off. Right. There's that shadow shape, and then we're just gonna repeat the process. We're happy with that shadow shape. Cool, cool, cool. And then we're just gonna try and make rotate it. I mean, we could just, you know, do something like this. If that is the let's just start with something like this. Okay, let me cook, chat. Let me cook. And try and sculpt the inside of the shadow, because the outside is the cup, right? And that's pretty, you know, clean and consistent and whatnot. So, like the edge of the cup. I don't care that it's like the size is a little bit off. Like it's within acceptable margins for these kind of thing. But kind of just want to try and like see if I can make something really like it goes out there and then but it comes out at an angle there. Angle, I say. And of course we're gonna like yeah. No, I'm just saving. How about that? Yeah, that looks about right. Right, and it gets very thin there, and then you see a lot of shadow here and here. Like I see this like almost like blob, like this chunk here. Oop. But then there's like this tiny triangular. Yeah, you see it? You see it, chat? You see the vision? And of course, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but okay, we're just gonna keep that, I think. Yeah. Well, hands off the chess piece now, so the inner shapes. So there's a it's kind of cut off, like. No, it is a bit. It is a bit of a chunky shadow, but I don't think it's that chunky. It is that chunky. It just needs to be trimmed down quite a bit this way. That is that. Or actually, hang on. If I do, let me cook chat, because like I see like it goes here, like it goes this entire, not just the center. I'm thinking a little bit. I should thinking shadows, not necessarily just planes, although shadows like planes. Right. So it becomes pointed at the end, right? Not that pointed, but ooh. Okay, so if I make this bigger and badder than it is, because then you have some wiggling room, because then we can dance with it, right? We can dance. Let's go to dance chat. I'm a horrible dancer, but let's see if we can make this work. Let's dance with the digital paint. Yeah, nailed it. Analogies. I'm so okay. I'm so bad at them. This is why you shouldn't listen to random strangers on the internet, chat. Or take what they say with heavy duty grain of salt. 2 fistfuls of salt minimum. Because otherwise, holy crap. How about that? Does that make any sense? Kinda. Okay, so it just, that hump needs to go away. It's okay that it's a little torn, a little uneven with the shadows, because like it's literally shredded paper, for crying out loud. That's the theme of the prompt today. Okay. And this coughing. It has improved though. We're getting it somewhere, Jack. Like I said. And what's that? Yeah, okay, so okay, if I'm happy with that shadow, I'm gonna commit to that. But I think it needs the shadow at the top of the cup. Needs to be better. Better defined. That's it. Right, and you start with your big shapes, and then you go with your medium shapes, and then you go into your small shapes. Big, medium, small. Yeah, okay, this needs to... Kind of curious if can I make... That's kind of on point, actually. But now it's the other shadow that's not on point. How can I get that to reflect that paper? It's pretty much already on point. Right. And this one needs to be pushed. It has to makes that sharp turn there. Okay. I'm gonna leave that. Cool. We're getting somewhere, chat. We're cooking. We're cooking, chat. It's kind of already on point. I just need to take this one a little bit not higher, chat. Not higher. Just a little bit lower. Alright. Now the tricky part is, of course, that this we might have to zoom in because I don't necessarily want to screw up. Oop, that's wrong. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. You want to get that. Interesting. Okay. There's that blob there. There's that shadow over there. There's the shadow there. Yeah, I also like to have this little, because it sticks out, breaks up the silhouette, chat, which is cool, that is cool. Is that the right, even in the right spot? I think, yeah, just needs to be a little bit pointy. We do it like that. There we go. Look at that, chat. I suppose smaller shapes would be like there's obviously there's a shadow here, like this piece of paper has a cast shadow on that piece of paper. But yeah, and I suppose we could refine this blob here to be a little more triangular. Kind of like that. Yeah, it's tough. Very limited tool set. But don't touch that dial, chat. I think my laundry is done. I need to take the bedding and put it in the dryer. One moment, please. Okay, that is annoying. Like, it's very convenient when I'm just doing the headset thing. But yeah, something about the way that my headset is set up, and when it should pause the music automatically because like it registers, goes, oh yeah, you're taking off your headphones. Let me pause whatever is playing. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Pauses when I put the headphones back on, which is like, wait, what? But anywho, where were we? Kinda. I mean, we could push that one further out, I guess. Yeah, to better. And that's about right, I think. Yeah. Close enough. Yeah, I've been meaning to get the remake of Hero Quest because it's difficult to get all the expansion packs. I had the base game, the classic base game from like 1989. But I only have like one quest pack. But the remake, you can get the whole freaking package. But I kind of don't want to get it now at the very least, because I would like to, or because I want to keep luxury expenses down to an absolute minimum, since my paycheck is significantly reduced. Kinda. I see this triangular shape there, but I don't see it. Yeah, okay, like it gets this triangular shape, so you have a dark, smaller dark shape on it. Yeah. But at the same time, I kind of like, I don't necessarily want to make it too busy, if that makes sense. And I could try and make this little super thin, elongated triangular shape. I don't like. I see something going on there, but and there's a tail end here. Just like, and there's another. You know, it kind of low-key blend. Like it low-key blends into that shape, if you want to be honest. And that is what creates that little triangle shape in there. Yeah. Shapes within shapes. Rule of cool and don't be boring. That's Gamma Trap for you. He has some nice tutorials. If you want to check them out. Gamma Trap, one word. It's posted in a while though. But then again, you don't have to post all the time. You don't have to be mad lads like me and do streams and every single day, but you know. Does that make me a mad lad, chat? Oh, mad lad stream for like, I don't know, whole work day, 8 hours a day, every day. Yeah, and that's just simplified that into just one big shape. And yeah, that technically speaking has a cast shadow. That might be too low though. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit. Say it with me, chat. It needs to be a little bit higher. Excuse me. Hopefully, chat, this whole coughing thing will be a thing of the past by tomorrow's stream. Gotta get up bright and early, go to the store, buy the thing, get back, read the... We're gonna read the instruction manuals, or we're just gonna be like, nah, I don't need to read that. Throw it out, only to come crawling back. Hang on, how do you turn this thing on again? Where's the power button? Yeah, it's fun. Okay, like I'm starting to see it. It's interesting. Like I can sort of see how this curves and then hooks and then sticks up underneath. I can, you know, it curves, but it, like it, this shape here, it looks like it curves in on itself, and then like this top plane is the same way that it sticks out. Interesting. There's a road stripes. I don't know how to pronounce that. That blink. Words. Ink blob test, right? You go like, where you just kind of, and like low-key, this is fairly well what this is. Could tweak on the rendering, but I kind of don't want to because we're not necessarily doing that much edge control, really. This is a Minecraft stream now, apparently, because I'm making villager noises. Minecraft streamer, let's go. Yeah. But it is fascinating. Yeah, again, it's interesting, like how your eyes are working on something and you're looking at it, and your brains, you start to see things, even though it's just blah. Fascinating how vision and your brain operates. Yeah. I wonder what language that is in the reference. I have no idea. Never seen it. It certainly looks European. Guglagibi. Skibbity gibbity? Skibbity toilet? No, that's not right. No. That's not skibbity toilet. No. Some European language. Maybe. I'm a little bit curious now. Hang on. Who are you? The photographer. Overhead shot of breaded paper balls. Oh, I should have used those in the when I post things on Mastodon. Because Mastodon keeps giving me these tags that go like, oh yeah, you need to describe for the visually impaired, like what is the picture that you're posting? What does it contain? And it's like, I don't know how to explain that. Or I given it up here a couple of tries, but man, I don't know if I can go back and edit those. I should be able to go back and edit those. Be allowed to do that. Nobody's perfect. Certainly not me. Like, holy crap. But then the question is, all right, what are we going to do more about this? I don't think that there is much more we're going to do. Look, again, it's just refinement of shapes. And why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep pressing caps lock when I should be pressing and holding shift? Kind of like low-key just happy with the way that it is, chat. Okay, this triangle needs to be bigger. Is that big enough? Question mark. Kinda. I just need to make it triangle-esque. How do we make it triangle-esque? Is that the way? Kinda. Okay. It's not perfect, but perfect is the enemy, eternal, sworn arch nemesis of done chat. So settle for good enough and move on. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good, pretty good. Some of these are quicker and easier done than others because they're so simple. Lazy summertime. Yeah, well, summer's come and gone. Speaking of which, this year's summer it arrived late, but when it did arrive, at least here, it refused to go away. Like you're going like, oh, now we're inching towards autumn. We're like, oh yeah, look at that, some gray clouds and a little bit overcast, and oh, it's raining. Yay, autumn is here. And now go like, nah, screw it. Getting another 2 weeks of like clear blue skies and hot, warm temperatures. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, it's really weird. In my apartment, I don't have air conditioning in my apartment, so that is a pain in the butt. Since I live on the ground floor, and my neighbor has a cat, and they just let that cat go around out and exploring. I am reluctant to open up the porch. It was a big glass door, sliding glass door. Reluctant to keep that open. And my porch is glassed in, or terrace. Is it terrace? No, it's the terrace. Well, it's glassed in anyway. So I need to open. If I don't open that up, it's gonna get a greenhouse effect, and like it's gonna be a bacon oven in there. And so if I open that up, then the cat is gonna go in because like, oh, exploration. But it's like one of the main ways I can use to get circulation into my apartment. Ground floor, and there's not necessarily that much airflow to begin with. I have cooling fans that will sort of like that are not necessarily cooling the air, but it just kicks it around. But yeah, I've been looking into go like, should I get some sort of AC? Considering it, chat. It's not that bad when it gets cold though. Then it's just a cup of tea, some hot chocolate, warm clothes. You know, there's something cozy about like snuggling in under a blanket and just go like, oh yeah, let's just hunker down and just put on a good movie. Speaking of which, after some questing, it was Hero Quest. After some heroic questing yesterday with the board game boys, we saw the animated Predator movie. Or short movies. It was like killer or killers. And we were super confused because like we were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be like Dutch, Schwarzenegger's character from the first movie. Like he's gonna have like a hidden a cameo kind of thing. Oh yeah, we were all hyping ourselves up, like yeah, it's gonna be Dutch, get through the chopper and all of that jazz. And we're like, where is he? And we go like, no, all right, like it's like, oh, they done the MCU thing. It's gonna be a like post credit scene thing. Like, nope, nothing. Like, wait, where's Dutch? And we googled around to go like it was like a DLC thing that they. Well, it wasn't a DLC thing, but it felt like it was a DLC thing because like they extended the ending afterwards. Like, oh yeah, we published the whole thing on Hulu or whatever, and then afterwards, and after they publish it, they go like, oh, by the way, we can now use Dutch and Carrigan, is that it? From the guy from the main guy from the second Predator movie. I always loved the tagline for the second Predator movie. He's come to town with a few days to kill. Like, that is such a good tagline. Like, yeah. The movie itself is like, yeah, it's tough. It's hard. It has big shoes to fill. I always liked the Predator. I like the Predator more than excuse me. More than the Alien, actually. Xenomorph. Xenomorph is, of course, super iconic, but it's more monster-like, and the Predator is like a little more, yeah, obviously sentient because it's hunting and so on and so forth, and yeah, it just hits different, chat. That's pretty much what we're gonna say. Leave it at that. I would go like, I really kind of low-key miss a good Predator game. I would go like, yeah, they should make that. It should have, like, that should have been like a very non-brainer. Just Assassin's Creed, but you're a Predator. More or less. You know? Like, that should have been fairly easy to do. Right? You just you have all sorts of tools. You might get more tools and more skills depending on, and you have it's a sandbox. So go like, oh yeah, you know, here we go, and you can go to a lot of different places in the world. Like in Killers, you go up against Vikings, samurai, and World War II. Fighting pilots, basically. That was a twist. It's like, wait, what? We're dogfighting with predators now? Like, that's awesome. Even though, like, it got really, really over the top. It's like, all right, now you're stretching my suspense of disbelief to the absolute brim. Animated, and even though it's in the Predator universe, and even if it is in the even just like computer animated, but I like that grimy, painted, textured look that they had. Like, it wasn't buttery smooth like your Pixar movie or whatever. Like, it had that grimy, painted texture thing to it. Very nice. And the prey, you know, there were 3 different Predator designs, like the Viking hunter, the guy who hunted the Vikings. He was like, I don't know what he was eating. I have no idea what he put in his breakfast cereal, but like, dude was hunking. Even by Predator standards, like, dude, you gotta be like 10 feet tall and 10 metric ton of raw muscle. But then again, you just kind of but then sorry, I kind of and then the second guy, which was hunting ninjas, he was also tall, but he was also much more lanky, sleek, and elegant. And the dogfighting one was what was he doing? Well, we didn't get to see that much of him because he was just in a pilot seat like all the time. But he had this. I don't know if it was a genuine injury because it had this like patch over one of his eyes. If that was an injury or like a pirate patch, eye patch thing, or if it was just like, I'm wearing a pilot gear equipment. That will I'm hooked up to the targeting computer. Huh. Well, funny how that stuff works out, chat. Oh. Like, maybe I would be better if I... turn this. How does that work? I'm just trying to look at, see if I can understand. Improves it. Yeah, let's just leave it at that, I think. Yeah, that, ooh, that is interesting, connecting. Because now this one is isolated. And of course this one is too dark. So go like, now we're cooking, chat. But I wonder if it would just be better if that is better shape design, chat. We're learning, chat. We're learning. We're not going to connect this one because like I need to separate this shadow from that shadow. So that's why you have that white edge there. I'm like, oh, not like that, but we could connect it like that, maybe. Ooh, yeah, because like I want to try to see if I can describe it. How these things overlap without, ruining absolutely everything. Ah, yeah. Oh my goodness. That is that. Because now this thing here is on top of this thing here. And this thing is also on top of this thing. Yeah, baby. yeah, I mean, gotta look at it from a distance, chat. Zoom out, get some perspective. Or you can zoom in and lose the perspective. Yep. Wasn't that the that dinosaur movie? Dinosaur cartoon, the longest. The longest, not the longest journey. The Land Before Time. There was a dino there. Oh, yep. A lady dino. Yeah. It was. Sad, unfortunate with her. Was the voice actress. She was a very talented young lady, but didn't pan out. Oh well. Is there anything else we can try to do here? If I had another value, I could slice this one up and better demonstrate separation. But I don't. These two values are all I got, chat. So what am I supposed to do here? I probably only said that because like I fell down a super tiny little rabbit hole just before stream. Infamous pirates of like it's old. That works very well. It's old news now, but yeah, that was something, chat. That was something. That was something to behold. I'm out of water, chat. I have been banned from the Hydro Homie gang. Not a pure Hydro Homie, anyway. Water is good for you, and hydration is important, but I'm built too much of a sweet tooth to give up on my sugary, carbonated, sugar-colored, synthetically colored sugar water. Kind of. Ow. Like it's a bit too small, but it's pretty accurate. The interesting thing is that I do notice that I am getting a little bit bored of this exercise now, which is an indication of like a diminishing returns. Right, my brain that is an indication for my brain to go like, yo, this is all fun and this is all fun and games, but like, can we mix it up a little bit? Can we do something new? Can we do something different? And yeah, but we're almost at the halfway point, which to me at the very least seems to be a good, at least for me individually, seems to be like roughly 2 weeks of dedicated in-depth study of like trying to master a technique or trying to figure out whatever, right? All right, how does, I don't know, 3-point perspective work or whatever. 2 weeks is a good thing, because then boredom kicks in, and because my brain is like, yeah, I'm bored out of this. I want to do something else. And it's not necessarily that you're going to abandon this. You could still use this because it's still a very powerful and useful exercise. But the thing is, chat, you need to implement. You don't abandon it, but you stop doing dedicated studies and you instead implement them into your overall arching workflow. So you could do these things, crank these things out, just simple 2-value or 3-value for that matter studies like this. Well, not studies, but you just use them as a thumbnail just to get the compositions. Just go like, all right, this is my midtone, and I have my shadows, I have my midtones, and I have, let's just do this. I have a highlight here, right, and I have a highlight here. And there's probably some highlights over here. This might catch some strays. Right? And kind of like probably like a highlight shape, something like that, right? And all of a sudden you have. But you can see it's crude, but like it kind of gets like all right, there's a light coming probably from this side, and but the thing is, like, you want to communicate as much as possible with as simply and crudely as possible, because you can crank these suckers out, a lot of these iterations of it and variations. Go like, all right, how am I going to do paper and shredded paper in a cup, and iterations and variations of this, and until you find something that clicks. Like crank out half a dozen of these or whatever, something like that. You walk away, you do you grab yourself a cup of tea or whatever, some coffee if you're coffee gang. You come back later, come back with a fresh cup of coffee, fresh cup of tea, fresh set of eyes. You look at your thumbnails, and then you pick a winner, the rest goes in the trash, and then you refine and polish it. But then you've taken this thing that you practice for a couple of weeks and you're implementing it into your workflow. I mean, now the more that I spend time looking at it, go like, this kind of just low-key. Like this part doesn't connect, which gives you this sharp edge thing tapering, right? It's one of those things where like you don't necessarily see it immediately. So you go like, oh yeah, like it makes sense that it's one big connecting shape. Yeah, chat. Yeah, I can. I'm seeing it. Also helps talking about it. Software engineers or developers, front end and back end, they're kind of like, yeah, they have their, what is it? The coding duck? They have a rubber duck that they talk to when they're stuck in their code. I suppose artists could probably do something similar. So cat is my drawing duck. Quack quack chat. Quack quack. Alright. Let's export this PNG. Where is my socials? All right, now chat. We're gonna do a little bit different. I need a whopping 4 likes. Not that I'm, again, not chasing numbers. You shouldn't do that, chat, when it comes to social media. At least that's my philosophy. They 12, right? It's a 12. At least in this part of the world, it's still a 12. October 2025. Okay. Oh. And then there's a link to the reference. You can copy paste that. Post that. Boom. And we're gonna post on Mastodon as well. Copy paste that, and we are going to overhead shot, alt text, done, and post. I'm not entirely sure with the Pettyverse because, like, I do see. It could be that I'm double posting, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's confusing, chat. It is very confusing. But I think that's it. We're gonna be going back to our regular broadcasting schedule for tomorrow, 6 p.m. And yeah, hope you have a nice day. Right? Take care of yourself. And I'll see you two guys tomorrow. Bye bye.